皆さんこんにちは。お久しぶりですね。今日の動画は日本語の勉強のノートを見せるよ。例えばこのノートです。これから英語を話しますね。So it's hard to actually measure or give you a timeline of when I actually started doing Japanese because in middle school I did learn my hiragana and dipped my toes a little bit into katakana, but really did not know anything beyond some basic words. Des, of course. I would say that I really started getting serious about Japanese when I moved to Japan 5 years ago, so in 2018. But I definitely have not been consistent with Japanese during these 5 years. I think there are people that can study for 2 or 3 years and totally surpass me, but at the moment, after 5 years of more committed study than I did in middle school, I am currently studying for the N3, which is intermediate level, so I would say that I have an intermediate or a pre-intermediate understanding of Japanese. So I will be going through my beginner books from 2018 up until 2023. I have almost finished my N3 class notebook, which will be intermediate Japanese. So let's take a look. This notebook, I would probably never buy one like this again for studies. It's just too distracting. It's too small as well, but you can kind of see that at the beginning of my Japanese language journey in Japan, I already knew hiragana, so I knew how to write it, but I could not write it very quickly. I couldn't read it very quickly, but this is one of my first Japanese studies notebooks, so tango at the top, and these are like very basic words like ano, ima, eigo. These days, I could definitely use all of these words fluently. Some of these words I definitely don't use in my daily life, like economics, keizai. I don't use that every day, so I probably would stumble if I had to use that. I think I filled this particular notebook up with almost every N5 vocabulary word. I'm pretty sure I got most of these words online. I didn't have a lot of study books at the time. I was messing around with kanji. This is so what I don't even know what that's supposed to be honest. But I was messing around with numbers. Like these are my numbers. This is, I think it's supposed to be time, but it looks not so great. Toki, right? So in this notebook, I was kind of messing around with very simple kanji, but I still had no idea what I was doing. Look at all this, wow. We'll just kind of skip around. I also needed to review my katakana so bad at this time. What in the world? What was I doing here? Have you been? Yeah, I remember learning this grammar. Ita koto ga aru? Have you been? Or have you done? Kind of thing. Senraku. Look at my terrible handwriting. Senraku? Strategy? I kind of just was all over the place. Not very organized at all in this one. This next notebook I think is also from 2018. Yeah, this one's dated December 2018. This is when I was using the Genki books, so lesson 3. I was writing the actual conversation, and these kanji, I still struggle writing a lot of these kanji from absolute memory, but I made sure to, if I was gonna write the kanji, to write the furigana at the top of it, so that when I went back through it, I could easily read it, wouldn't have to look it up. I'm pretty proud of this notebook. I was going pretty crazy on kanji here. I like how neat this looks. At least to me, it looks organized, but not really consistent. Like I don't have any consistency from page to page using different pins and stuff like that. Here's some vocabulary. This is a JLPT N4 vocabulary words that I guess I wrote in the month of, I'm guessing that would be February 2019. So yeah, I try to use as much space as I can nowadays, but back then definitely was not utilizing my space very well. Some more Nihongo no Ryokushiken vocabulary for N5. Whoa, I love this. This looks pretty good. I was taking my highlighter and just highlighting each word that I didn't know at the time. It'd be fun to kind of go back through these and see if I actually know all of these words, because these are all basic Japanese words. Also, I was trying so hard to write these kanji, and again, these are kanji that I still don't know how to write from like pure memory. So I don't know how I got the motivation to write all these kanji when I barely knew like the first 80 kanji that you need to know in Japanese. Here's some examples of grammar. So te form, yeah, that was my 2018 to 2019 notebook. This notebook, it's awfully cute, isn't it? I had these K-on stickers that I decorated with, and on it I wrote manga tango, nihongo. Which was, for me, I was trying to say that these are the words that I was learning from Japanese manga that I was reading, and I would write them down. So this is from the Oshibudo manga that I was reading. So words like yume, famous, some words I never actually continued to use. Bokujo monogatari manga words. Oh my god, this is the embarrassing thing about this notebook is I never went back to it. Now that I know that I have this notebook, look, all these empty pages, I need to go back to this when I read manga and put words in here, but I have not used this notebook in like 3 years. This notebook though, I'm pretty sure I did fill up most of the way. So, atarashi tango. These were words that I was learning from a JLPT specific book, I believe. I really enjoyed doing this. These were new words that I would learn, and then I would write the definition for them here. And then renshu, I would do practice sentences. I would make my own sentences from the words that I just learned. I need to do this method more. This is really fun. Most of this notebook was dedicated to doing online lessons specifically for the JLPT N4. So this is grammar homework that I was given through my online lessons, and it just keeps going and going. Like, I love this page right here personally. I think it looks so good, even though this is pretty beginner Japanese right here, and it just keeps going. This is probably one of my favorite notebooks because I was pretty dedicated to trying to fill this one up, and yeah, it just keeps going. I hate writing on this side sometimes. Sometimes I just jot down some things, but I hate writing on this side because this side stays flat, so I think that's why I kept only writing on this side and then like jotting extra things down on the other side. Yeah, this was a good one. This one, I don't even know what, like, this is so cute, like the Pokemon notebooks, but I think I wrote 2 pages in this. Like, I don't even know what this is. Yeah, I did this, and then I did this page, and the rest of it is not, the rest of it is empty. I have more Pokemon notebooks. This one is actually a little bit more recent. I started this one last year, I believe in 2022. So I believe maybe this one and this one. So let's see. It must have been, this one was 2018, and then 2018, 2019, 2019. Well, this one I haven't written a bunch in. This one was definitely 2020, 2021 when I was taking online lessons for N4. This was, I think last year I bought this and didn't really do much with it. And then I started this one last year, mid last year, after I found out that I passed the N4 to start JLPT N3. I don't think I wrote very much in this because I was getting to the point where like I didn't want to study online and I was having trouble studying by myself. So you'll see my latest notebook in a second where I did fill it up and stayed motivated, but I'm going back to this method and for the N3 where I was learning these words and then writing example sentences at the bottom, and I had an online teacher correct me. So the underlined words right here are the new vocabulary words, but if the grammar was wrong, I would write it in red under. So like this first sentence is not grammatically correct, or maybe doesn't make sense in Japanese. So my teacher would correct me and I would write in red. Yeah, man, that's all of this one that I did. So I have a lot of room in this one for more N3 words. I need to keep that in mind. This is my last notebook, the one that I currently use. I have about 4 more pages in it to fill up, so I will be taking it to class this next week, and then I will be getting another notebook for class. But this is my first notebook for an in-person class that I started to do. And in this in-person class, which there's another video on my channel about daily life for a Japanese language student in Japan, if you want to go watch that video where I explained more about the class. We have one class during the week where we learn new kanji, usually 4 kanji. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4. These would be the kanji that we would learn, and then I just kept going the next day. I'd basically write the kanji here and make it look nice with a little square, and then I would write the onyomi and the kunyomi. If you know, you know. Just basically how the kanji is pronounced. This was my first kanji quiz. So we would learn the Japanese kanji and then a week later we would be tested on it, where my teacher will read a sentence out loud and we have to write the sentence in as many kanji as we can without omitting any kanji. And that's really hard because you also have to remember older kanji, not the ones that you just learned. So you can see, oh my gosh, my first week I made so many mistakes, like hayaku. I couldn't even remember hayaku, which is a pretty easy kanji in the grand scheme of things. You can see that I was just writing in hiragana, and so I just had to make corrections after the quiz and actually write in the kanji. It doesn't get much better, folks, let me tell you. This is more of just the style that I like when it comes to learning the kanji. This I really like. I wish I would have stuck to this, where I would write the kanji, write the sounds, and then write vocabulary words that have to do with it. And I put the pronunciation or the furigana under. Here's another example of a kanji quiz where I definitely missed some kanji and had to make some corrections. I would always do my homework as well in this notebook. Oh, I meant to actually glue this into my notebook because I started forgetting all of these words, all these vocabulary words, because as you can see, I was kind of obsessed with just writing the Japanese and not writing the English because I just wanted my notebook to just be Japanese. And honestly, that was kind of a mistake on my part because it became difficult for me to remember like all of these words, the English meaning of them. So then I decided to take my cute little Animal Crossing stationery here and write the meanings in English. And I meant to tape it here, but I never got to that apparently, so he's just kind of hanging out. He's hanging out in there. Usually before the kanji quiz, the morning before when I'm getting breakfast, I will write the kanji over and over again, so like I can count in my head how many strokes each kanji is and write them as much as I can. My writing here is just terrible. I mean, the speaking is so fast and I have to write so fast, it just becomes a little overwhelming sometimes, but I have noticed that overall it's made my writing speed quicker and my listening speed better, so I like that. This is my latest work. It doesn't even look good, but yeah, I think I still have like a few more pages left in this notebook, but yeah, that's it for this one. I'm pretty proud of this one. And there you have it, guys. Those are my notebooks. If you have any questions, please let me know down in the comments. Also, I will be going to America in a few days, which is why I really wanted to get this video out. I will be at Animazement, the anime convention in Raleigh, North Carolina, presenting 2 panels. I'll just put the picture here. You can look at them because Lord knows I cannot remember the name of my own panels. If you happen to be there, I hope to see you. Otherwise, I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!